Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Pi Records, and I'm here with Michael from Los Caminos. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Ryan?
Very good, very good. I'm excited to talk to you today. Mostly because I checked out your three albums, Test Pilot. Uh, what was the other one? The Road to Santa Cruz, and
Our first, yeah,
what was the first one?
our first one's
Cheating Death,
bullets for bread.
Bullets for Bread, and what was the Cheating Death?
Cheating death. Yeah, that was our third one, and we actually have a fourth one we just released called Road to Santa Cruz. I will send to you as well.
Awesome. I really liked them all. There was one or actually two noticeable things about it. One, you paid tribute to the King, and that was pretty standout take on the Dick Dale style of guitar playing and writing. Would you say?
Yeah, well, I mean, Dick Dale is the king, and I mean, everything's got to go through him, or you have to be influenced by him if you're playing some kind of surf music. So,
Totally. And
fantastic guy.
yeah, yeah. One of the reasons I play guitar.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree.
There's another influence I saw on the road to Santa Cruz, which was the Ventures.
Yes, yeah.
It was pretty apparent with the chord structures and progressions that they were heavily influenced on the songs that I listened to.
Yeah, you got Dickie Dale, who's obviously the king of surf guitar, but the Ventures were, right there as one of the main influencers for, modern day surf players or surf bands. Got to always pay homage to those two guys, or to, the band and Dick Dale, right? So
So the first two albums came out early in the 2010s, and then there was was there kind of some time in between before you did this album. In the interim, what were you working on the album? Were you working on other projects?
yeah, the four of us, we kind of morph into, we decided to, because we love playing and we love writing, but we wanted to kind of expand on, just our horizon. So we kind of, I started a side project that's kind of turned into our main project. It's called Six Gun Romeo, and we're kind of a rockabilly blues based act. And we put out a number of albums and we tour with that band. So it's the same guys in the band minus the singer. So it's, when we have time off, we do some Los Caminos. We have other time off, we do the Six Gun Romeo stuff. So
Tell me a little bit
keeps
about
us.
Six Gun Romeo. I love rockabilly, so I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, well, the Six Gun Romeo, well, we're kind of a hybrid of rockabilly, honky tonk country, a little blues rock. We even have a little classic rock element to us there. So we've been doing that's basically keeping us busy since probably 2010. And we've been lucky enough to tour around the world with that, and keep ourselves busy with that. And it keeps us, interested in playing that genre as well as doing the Los Caminos. So we're lucky with, like I said, the same guys in the band. And then when we do the surf, it's minus the singer, and we do the Los Caminos surf stuff. So
Do you ever play shows of two different sets?
yeah, we do. Before, we haven't done it in a bit, but yeah, we used to open up with the Los Caminos surf stuff, and then we bring the singer on and we transform to the Six Gun Romeo stuff. So it's kind of like the perfect little tie-in, for
That's
us. So it's
I
pretty
love
fun.
that idea.
Yeah, yeah, it works perfectly. I mean, yeah, it's worked well for us.
Awesome. Where are some of the most memorable places you played throughout the world?
Well, I mean, with the Los Caminos, we played, all the way down to California and Las Vegas, and I remember some good shows in Oregon, and Seattle's always, with even with both bands, has been fantastic and a mainstay for us pre-COVID times. And yeah, that's a fantastic audience. And then with the Six Gun, we toured Europe. So we've done Belgium and the Netherlands. So we have a good reception over there. So uh, yeah, I mean every spot's different. With the also we've gotten a little bit eastern. Gone to Alberta with the Caminos early on, and that was really fun and playing like the Banff and the Canmore, Alberta crowds and the Calgary crowds. They're fun. So
So you
lots
guys
of
are
good
from
memories.
Canada?
Yeah, we're from Vancouver area, west coast of Canada.
Awesome. There's a lot, Canada's a big place, but there is a lot of surf music. There's a great radio station called Shaky Cats Radio that plays a lot of rockabilly and surf. Um, Tell me about the different scenes in Vancouver. What might be going on there that's interesting to our listeners?
Well, Vancouver's, it's a fairly big city. It's like basically the size of Seattle kind of idea. So it is a diverse scene. I mean, the root scene of the rockabilly or the surf scene is relatively small, but it is a very loyal audience and a strong audience. So there's a handful of places you definitely can play, and they are very supportive here, and it's a good place to be, and it's nice to be West Coast because in the past and in the future, you just go down to Seattle, across the border, and you're all the way down to San Diego, and play and tour, and it's not too far, and it's a really good reception down there as well. So
What I've heard in the past that it's tough to get a visa to come into the United States.
yeah, it's a lot. The P2 visa, it's a lot of paperwork. It's a pain in the butt, but you need to do it to get across the border and do it right. And yeah, it's just a lot of paperwork, but it's so much fun going to your country and playing. So it's worth the paperwork and the headache and the time put in, right? So
So you've gone all the way down to Los Angeles. Have you played the surf guitar festival down there?
no, we wanted to, but we haven't got around to it. We got to apply next time. Yeah, we'd love to play that. That's one of the big ones, right? So
Yeah. I would love to go too. I've never been.
yeah, that would be one of the kind of landmark gigs to get, right, and be able to play that one for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm sure you guys would fit right in.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, hopefully we would. Hopefully we can have that opportunity, right? So
So one thing I would want to talk about is your progression from your first couple albums till now. There's
okay,
definitely your first albums are terrific and
thank you.
they're very well played. But I noticed there was a progression. Uh, and your new album has such a tight grip on the rhythm. You want to talk about your I want to say progression. I can't think of another
Right.
word, but you're building
Yeah.
upon your skills from earlier on.
Yeah. Well, initially, I started the band with my buddies Tom and Dave, aka Shaky, and we kind of started the Los Caminos, and we did the 3 albums as the three of us. So we added a drummer in on that mix, so it's kind of the three of us writing all this stuff, and then basically with the new album, the latest, the Road to Santa Cruz. Uh, Tom wasn't part of this band anymore. And then we got we got a new drummer named Dean, and we got a new bass player named Jason, and they came into the mix. And then since the COVID times, Dave, our lead guitar player, Shaky, wanted some time off. So there's another good buddy of mine named Rich, and he was really keen on, you should write another album, Mike, let's get going. And him and I kind of came up with the ideas with the new album. So I think the influence of Rich on this album was made it slightly different than the other ones, but I think it's still it still sounds, it sounds like us. And
Yeah,
also, I mean, the first album was, I think, 2007, second album was 2008, and then 2011, and this one. So there's a big gap in between. But I think it's just, I think Rich having an influence on this one made it slightly different sounding than the past three. So, and then Dave's back in the band now. Shaky is back in the band, and Rich is taking some time away. So it's back to, Dave and I were the original guys, and it's him. He's back into it. So
awesome. So you're the guitar player?
yeah, I'm the rhythm, and Dave, aka Shaky, is the lead guitar player. And then, but on the latest album, it was Rich who played lead, and I played rhythm. And then Dean Richards on drums and Jason Pierce on bass. So,
I want to ask you what type of gear you play.
it's yeah. Well, I'm a Fender amp guy, so I got a deluxe reverb, and I got a 65 deluxe reverb, and also I use a 68 silver face deluxe reverb. Um, for guitars, I usually use Gretches. I'm a big Gretsch guy. I'm a tall fella, so I like the look of Gretches. But I play Fenders, but my main guitars are Gretches. Dave is a Fender amp guy too. He has a various number of different amps, and he plays Strats and Tellys and the odd Gibson. He likes his Gibson Les Paul sometimes, but yeah, it's usually, for me, it's the Gretches, always Fender amps for us. And for Dave, it's a variety, but usually a Strat or a Les Paul or something like that. So, and lots of reverb, right? Obviously, effects wise. So,
Do you use like outboard reverb tanks or anything like that?
I used to have like the Holy Grail kind of like pedal stuff. I never had like the whole classic, the reverb unit. I didn't, I haven't got into that. But usually, yeah, either like the Holy Grail pedal, and Dave's the same way, or just reverb on the amps. We don't overthink it too much. We just like to get it, decently reverbed and wet, and then kind of going with it. And Dave adds a little distortion on it to make it a little more gritty. So
So like myself, it seems like you have a minimalist approach to,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
I like to plug in my amp and just go.
Yeah, I'm 100% agree with you. I don't. Maybe I don't have the brain power to do it. I just want to play and just plug in. Turn it for me. I just turn on the reverb and go. And Dave usually adds a pedal or two, and that's it. We just get going. And the bass player Jason just goes basically straight into his Ampeg amp, and we just go. We don't overthink this, right? We just want to play.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I totally agree with that. These guys, the Surf Hermits, are also from Canada. Um, they're on Sharewaji. I want to ask about your label and how you got connected with them.
Well, the label's our own label, so it's called Ridge Records, and it's our own label, and we kind of fund our own projects, because it's a bit of a pain trying to get other people to fund it, and it's definitely an independent kind of scene, as you know. So we just decided, Dean Richards, the drummer, and I decided, let's just do our own label and put out our own independent albums, as well as some other artists we like. So it's just basically, that's how we just kind of DIY'd it, right? We did it ourselves, and that was the thought behind it. Instead of back in the day when I was younger and I was into more the the heavy metal scene or the indie scene, you're always trying to get signed to some Sub Pop or Universal, and you're dreaming of this giant record contract, and you realize, well, that's not coming. So let's just do it ourselves. So that's we're very do it ourselves kind of person or people. So
Awesome, awesome. I appreciate the underground aesthetic, the do it yourself aesthetic. Would you say that's been your guys' mentality the whole time?
yeah, absolutely. I think, like I said, I mean, you have that when you're younger, you have this grandiose views of getting signed and being rich, and then you realize what it's really like. So yeah, it's like, you worded it perfectly, the underground kind of scene. And, guy like our drummer, Dean, and I do a lot of the business side of it. And we love that. We love kind of doing it yourself. And, he's very good at the promotions and the graphics. And he did the graphics on the latest album and, pushing the underground scene. And there's something cool about that too, right? So we're not waiting for somebody else to do something for you. Just do it yourself, right?
Um, that's one thing I wanted to talk about was the cover of the Road to Santa Cruz. I think it's fucking
Yeah,
fantastic.
well,
It's fucking
oh,
fantastic.
thanks.
It reminds me
Yeah,
of the
well,
old pulp movies.
yeah, well, like we were kind of going that direction. Like it was Dean Richards, our drummer's very talented man at the graphics. And it was actually a photo he took when he was down in the California desert a couple of years ago. And he just kind of morphed it and added a little design to it. And it's basically his vision. And yeah, we're really happy with it. And, we're always, he's a talented guy. He's second to none when it comes to graphics. He's really good at that kind of stuff. So he does our gig posters and our websites and our Facebook images. He's really good at that kind of stuff. So
Would you, is that the Road to Santa Cruz? This is Santa Cruz in California?
yeah, I came up with the title myself. I just like the title, I would say, yeah, because, for us, when we think surf music, we're always thinking California for some bizarre reason. But yeah, I think that's, Santa Cruz, California.
I used to live about a half hour from there.
Oh, did you? Did you grow up around that area?
No, I grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and live in
Okay.
Philadelphia now. But
Right.
my wife and I, when we were engaged, lived out in Salinas in
Oh yeah,
Monterey.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Beautiful.
and I loved going to Santa Cruz because it was such a mix of different different subcultures, and
Right.
there was a lot going on there. Fun to watch the surfers, uh, or go see a show. They
Yeah.
just had so much to offer in that one little town. It was so great.
Yeah, it's a cool place. I agree, 100%. Percent agree with you, and that's cool that you live there because it is a very interesting place, like you said, right?
Yeah, yeah. They even had like a little pier where they had some rides and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
pretty cool.
I remember that. Yeah,
I don't
yeah, I
know if
was
it's there
there probably
anymore.
3 years ago. But yeah, yeah, good question. That's a good question. I'm sure it is.
So, what have you been working on as far as taking the album, and are you going to go out and play on it, or um, what are your plans for the record?
Yeah, we're trying to promote it, and it's with with the COVID times up here in Canada, especially the West Coast, is just starting to open up to play. So actually, ironically, our other band, Six Gun Romeo, we played last night. So it's the first time we played in about a year. So yeah, we got to get up, and the idea of the the surf opening up for other band is definitely talked about quite a bit. So yeah, we got to get promoting it and hopefully getting some shows and hopefully heading down south and doing some gigs down there as well. So
How did that feel to get back together, jam in a room, and then go out and play live?
yeah, it was long overdue. It was fantastic. It was a fun little party, and yeah, it was definitely well needed mentally, and yeah, it felt fantastic. Yeah, it was really a good time.
Now, did you write the record during the pandemic, or was it something you had done before?
No, we wrote it. It was we wrote it during the pandemic time because we had lots of time on our hands, next to working every day. But yeah, we did it during came together quite quickly. So yeah, we did it during the COVID times. We just kind of brought it back. So
One of the things I really liked about all your records, because they're mixed kind of similarly on every record, is I don't want to say softness, but the drums are kind of in the background a little bit.
Right.
Tell me what you were going for sound wise.
Well, I mean, the first couple albums, our old friend Dean Level did it for us, and he was part of other bands with us, and he did a little bit of recordings. And then we went to our third one, Cheating Death. We went to a normal studio um, and worked with those guys at Aurora Studios in Vancouver. And then the latest one, our drummer and bass player recorded and engineered it. And it's just basically trying to get, we didn't overthink it too much. We just want to get good sounds. We want to get a live feel as best as we can. And that's what we all shoot for, right? And I mean, everybody's kind of happy with their sound, get it, mixed in as best as we can. And, I think a lot of people are, when they record, are shooting for that live feel, right? And that's always the hard thing to do. But I think Dean and Jason did a good job with that. So.
I know it was kind of impossible to do that this time, but in the past, have you played live in the studio?
Yeah, well, this time we did as well. We did.
Oh, you did?
Live. Yeah, we did. We did it. It was one we rehearsed a few times to make sure we were tight, and we did it one afternoon. We did it pretty quick, and then we did some overdubs over that, right? So we did it pretty quick, and I don't know, we just wanted the more of the live feel, or at least try to capture that, and we were happy with it. So
I love the idea of playing live. In my band, we practice without vocals for weeks on end, and then we go in and record all live.
Right, that's perfect.
And if you screw up, you got to go back and start over. But I like that better than doing the overdubs.
Yeah, it's a more organic feel, right? It's more real,
right? Because sometimes,
and like you say,
the tempo shifts naturally.
Yes, and that's okay too, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I like that.
Far off, that's fine. Yeah. The live feel is what we always try to shoot for, and it's so hard to capture sometimes, but we're always aiming at it. So
awesome. So what I want to tell everybody is to pick up The Road to Santa Cruz by Los Caminos. Before we go, I want to know where you got the name Los Caminos.
It was actually Los Caminos. Our original bass player Tom O'Riordan came up with the name, and he was really good. He was a creative fella, and he still is a creative fella. And he just came up with the name, and he came up with a lot of the, titles of the songs. He just had that kind of cool kind of thought process. So he was the one who named the band. So we could credit Tom for that.
I'll give you a good example of good song titling. Barrel Roll.
Yeah, that was Rich, and I think that was Rich. That was Rich, the guy who wrote this one with me, and he came up with that one. Yeah.
As soon as it came on, I was like, "Oh yeah, that matches."
yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, he'll appreciate that. Thank you.
So before we go, I want to give you the opportunity to say anything, or maybe mention something we haven't talked about that you want to talk about.
Yeah, no, I just appreciate the interest, and thanks for, I mean, the surf community it's not a large community, but it's a very loyal community, and it's the underground scene, like you said before. So, for your listeners, keep listening to the cool surf music, as it is cool, and keep supporting local artists and local music, because right now with the COVID times and the weird year we had, it's, you got to keep your live music going and support local musicians. And it's a lot of people are starving who count on the music, right? So I appreciate again, Ryan, for having us on and showing an interest. We appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I always love finding a new band. When you find a new band you're interested in, it's like back in the old days when you would find one record and then you read the liner notes, and you either went and got something else that one of the guys produced, or you go get the next record, and you can
Yes.
kind of really go down the rabbit hole. So I kind of feel like that experience when I find a new band, and then I want to interview them right away.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's like the old days, like you say, getting the liner notes and all that. That's super cool. And yeah, I agree. Finding new bands is really fun.
So thank you so much, Michael. I really enjoyed our talk, and I really dig your music, and I'd love to play you on Purity Radio. And I think Shaking Cats would love to play you. So if you get a chance, reach out to them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're
Uh,
good friends of ours. So
oh, good, good.
they're good to us. Yeah, they're good to us. Yeah,
They're really nice people.
they are. They are fantastic.
All right, Michael, I want to wish you a good day, and thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Ryan. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.